There are clipboards over there if you would prefer a clipboard. I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock.
Remediation is reteaching a skill that a student hasn't mastered yet. The idea behind the remediation is that they're getting reteaching so that they can then master the skill, so that they won't get it wrong again.
And so that retake offers them that time to be like, hey, you can do it. It offers them that reassurance that this test doesn't define me. I can try again. I can come to my teacher for whatever I need. And I can show that like, hey, I may have had one hiccup here, but I bounced back.
So I'm a teacher of students who have learning exceptionalities, and the opportunity to do retakes has been phenomenal for them because not all of them learn in the same way. I really pride myself on being a responsive teacher. I'm predominantly the literacy teacher, so I support them in the areas of reading and writing, and having the opportunity to go back and to revisit, learn concepts, and maybe reteach it in a way that didn't necessarily land the first time has been instrumental to them making growth towards their IEP goals and their 8th grade standards of learning.
So I think that it's really important because it shows the kids like, just because you don't do well once doesn't mean it's over for you. There's opportunity for growth. Usually they're always gonna perform better the second time, and once that happens to them one time, the next time they do poorly on something, they're coming immediately after school.
It gives me a second chance when I did something wrong. I took this vocabulary test, and I didn't get too good of a score, but my science teacher let me retake it, and it gave more time to study, and I got a 10 out of 10.
I think it makes you a better student because you show you care for your grade and that you want to be pushed higher.
Something I've noticed throughout the last few years, but really this year, is students being more accountable. They're taking on a lot more responsibility for their own grades. So yes, they're being successful academically, but they're also being more successful when it comes to just managing their time. Like, oh, they have soccer practice after school, but we also have to go to Ms. Patel's study session so that we can retake the test and do better next time.
It really helped me learn because I feel like if I didn't do that, I wouldn't go back through my notes and try and go through this retesting process again.
You have to relearn all the material because eventually you're gonna take the math SOL or a big test. And if you just learned it for that one specific test, you're not going to improve on your standardized ones.
So after a test, I let students correct it, and then I grade the corrections. That way, I'm focusing more on the big conceptual things that they misunderstood. That's the main thing I'm looking for them to get. Those computational things are things that I know they can look at their own paper and see that they got wrong. I don't use instructional time to retest. Students can only retest during TA times on Fridays. After that 3-week period is over, there's no more testing. So when I set the boundary, you have to come to my TA. You have to get a pass from your teacher to come. It puts the onus on them. They're coming because they're serious about retesting.
The special ed kids weren't used to asking for a retake, and so I gave it to them as a practice. Hey, we're gonna do this practice. I didn't put retake on it, but I used that grade and I showed them how much their grade went up and how beneficial this was, and then the data will literally show that they're being more successful.
I encourage students to complete the test corrections before they retake the test. That way they can look at what they have wrong and receive meaningful feedback from me on the things that they really misunderstood.
I truly believe that allowing students the opportunity to remediate their understanding of a concept in order to scaffold them up to their mastery level comprehension is essential. So having the opportunity to go back, to revisit a learned concept, to reteach it in a different way, I think builds student confidence.
Teaching like a very diverse population with L students and special education students and gifted students, you have to be able to vary that instruction, and so remediation really has allowed me to tailor my instruction so that every student can reach their highest potential as a learner.